Okay, this might be really surprising. Tesla. What did Tesla say about our future, our realities, and Jesus Christ? Yeah, he had an opinion about that I have never heard. But I found out some information that I want to share with you. It is going to be so exciting and mind-blowing. It sort of sets us up for 2025 because, as you know, we're going into some very strange things, but magnificent things. When you hear what I have to share with you, the future is going to look very different for you. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. We came here with fear. It is a part of the experience. It doesn't go away. It never goes away until you leave the body because we're in density. And fear is a part of density. Why? It creates contrast. Why? Because when we have contrast, we can know that, to know this, to choose this, or to choose that. We have free will here. Let's talk about those frequencies today because Tesla did some studies on Jesus Christ that applied directly to everything that he did with frequencies. Very exciting. So I'm going to ask you to please subscribe because it's what keeps me going. And your support tells YouTube, yeah, I want more positivity. I want more empowerment. And that's exactly what we're going to address today. Empowerment. And why you have not been empowered, us as humans. The majority have not been empowered, and they've been disempowered, or, well, let's just say, programmed by a small percentage of people. And this is the interesting part about that, because numbers do count, but you as an individual hold unlimited powers. I'm going to talk about the two of those, frequencies, how Tesla will tell you through my message today how you can use it and that there's a future of any kind that we choose. Of course there is. Why would we fear the future? Because we're creating it. If there's going to be disasters, well, humans have to do it. So why are we living in fear when we totally have control over everything that goes on here? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Programming. So something I want to point out to you is when you guys go into my free list, I'm going to be sharing more and more information about options and solutions for you to change your life. This is Digital Explorers creating planet-conscious businesses, earning income online in a way that others aren't. This is going to be breakthrough fear, but I'm going to actually make it into a membership. Those of you who feel like you're being held back, there's some simple steps. This is a 5-star course that I'm going to change the structure of it so that those of you who weren't be able to do it can get on board because this is a critical time for us to break through fear. Fear is a lower frequency, and as long as you're functioning in fear, you're creating a future that you don't want. Let's work on that today. So what did Tesla say about Christ? This is so interesting. Well, as you know, if you don't know about Tesla, he was an inventor, he was a genius, he did a lot of things that were unconventional that pretty much broke through programming of, fossil fuels and the types of inventions that have polluted our planet and still do. So that really says a lot right there, right? That those with money who hold the power in those industries that destroy the planet. What is Tesla? If he's coming up with free energy, using frequencies, he actually in many ways was the creator of cellular phones. He saw a network across the planet, unseen, that was communicating. He knew this existed, and he knew we could have free energy. Well, who doesn't like that? People who are making money off of another way, and those who are in low frequencies don't care what the cost is to gain that money and that power so they continue to pollute the planet. Now, in my last video, I shared with you, what do those in power and low frequencies do? They want to get rid of anybody who has power over them. They get rid of them. Have you noticed wars? You're a problem. They're not solving problems, finding solutions. How can we work together? It's going on right now. Let's just keep eliminating each other. That has been the programming. Now, those who higher up in low frequencies like that, let's let them just take each other out while we sit over here in our mansions, right? We've been programmed to do certain things because it's accepted, because those in power gain from it, and they want us to argue with each other, and you're not going to do it. When the elections happen, they're happening right now, I can go vote, and whatever happens, you got to remember, it doesn't determine our future. So here's what Tesla said about Jesus Christ. He was actually a very spiritual person. I did not know this. We never talk about that part of his life. But he realized, because everything's a frequency, that it could be changed. How do you change it? You just have to figure out how to manipulate energy. Well, he knew that human beings were energy fields, electromagnetic fields, right? And so then we could change our energy field, but how? Well, he knew that prayers, that community, that joy and passion would increase frequencies. Happiness increases frequencies. And so he's looking scientifically at this. And he realized individuals can do this. We are not at the mercy of somebody else's frequency. We can change our own. Now, if we believe what somebody else is saying, we can take our own frequency down. It's still our choice. So he thought, well, who's the master of frequencies? Well, Jesus Christ was definitely one of those. And so he studied Jesus Christ and realized that everything he did, these miracles, were just manipulation of energy. He was just using his energetic powers, and people were going, ooh. And Christ is saying, these things you should do and more. You're all gods. I mean, he's trying to show that, yes, I'm doing this, but it's not me doing this. You can do it. We can all do it because we are all energy. And so Tesla believed that. So he realized and studied the miracles that Jesus performed. Walking on water, all right? Producing, turning water into wine, healings. He realized that Christ was actually manipulating energy. He was the master at it. He could transform energy into another form. So water, which would be a liquid, now became solid. He could do that through his manifesting powers. All right? So that's why I said I don't believe in law of attraction as the term. I'm not going to attract anything. I just shift into that frequency. So if I shift into a frequency and I manipulate, I affect the other energy field, I can solidify it, right? And or I can turn water into wine. How do you do that? It's all manipulation of energy, because you have the power to create anything. Now, that takes some practice, but it's really interesting because Tesla believed that if we raise our frequencies, that as communities, we can shift and change anything. And now he knew that we were programmed to believe certain things. So as long as we believe we're powerless and that there's an enemy, we are kept into the control and manipulation of those lower frequencies who want to get stuff, who want to control others, because powerful people on high frequencies are very dangerous to them. Because we have more power. Why? Because we receive that which we give. All right? So when you're up in these spaces in the penthouse and you're giving, you're receiving unlimited healings, abundance, depending on what your pathway is here too. There's some other factors in that. Those down in the basement are receiving all the nasty stuff they're putting out. It actually eventually implodes on itself. That's why you say evil's doing this. It has no power over you. It absolutely has no power over you, because the ultimate power of all things is unconditional love. And if you guys have read my book, I hope that you do, I explain all of that. And that why that unconditional love would allow this. It's actually pretty simple. And when you think about it, you realize, well, something has to go on here. We can't just all be on a cloud playing our harps. And so therefore we are getting to know everything we can possibly be and be challenged by it, teachings. And then we go off to another game, you know, the life review. It's the review of the game. How did you play it? And that's it. And then you realize when you're stepping away from it, when you step away from it, that's why meditation's so important and powerful. And you look at it, realize it is just a game and I'm in it. And yes, I can feel things, but if I break through that fear, it's not controlling me anymore. When I have compassion for those in the basement who really don't understand the power of that highest frequency, well, they understand what it can do to them. So what I want you to know today is that Tesla looked at everything as energy, and this is what we are. And we just get to use it. Now, Dolores Cannon, I'm actually a quantum healing hypnosis technique hypnotist trained by Dolores Cannon. I don't know if you know that. But she said, we're here to learn how to manipulate energy. You could say, well, no, we're here to master this or that. And yeah, that's manipulation of energy. So it's like if we're here to change the planet, we're going to manipulate energy by raising our frequency. What do we do when we're going into high frequency? We love, we give, we share, we become community. We become one, unified again, which is our origins. When we go into low frequency, you know, we encourage separation, we encourage arguing, we encourage right and wrong, good and bad. It's just part of a game. That's an illusion. But if you go along with it, you'll experience that in the game. If you're done with that, stop arguing, stop taking sides. We're done. We're so done with that. It doesn't matter who's doing what and what and what. If we are not engaged in it, it has no audience, right? A wave and a particle. A wave is a probability. As soon as you place your focus on it, just your focus, just looking at it alone, it turns into a particle. What is that particle? It becomes some reality of some kind. It could be something in the material world. It could be something in the unseen world. That's events and opportunities or whatever happens. So if you're thinking one thing and you engage in it, if it's all the other channels, the lies, the media, the separation, you think somebody has power over you, then the universe says, yes, it does. You just created that. And that's what Tesla believed. And he knew that Christ took this super high frequency, the most powerful of all frequencies, to manipulate the energy to create anything. Now, he couldn't heal everyone. Why? Because we have free will in this game. And so that means if I choose to not believe, and then I can do that. You can't override my free will. So some people came to him and really wanted it, but they just didn't really believe. Do you know that he used to, when he was healing, he was picking up on energies. He would not allow non-believers in the room. He made them leave. Why? They actually affected the energy field of the healing. He knew that. This was just simple quantum physics. It wasn't like some weird thing you have to believe. It's like, no, and it was in frequency, and Christ knew that that frequency would affect what he was trying to accomplish with his person that he was trying to heal. And so this is why Tesla said, if groups of people get together and they envision a higher, more beautiful future, and they believe it, and they go into the frequency, you have to go in it. You can't just want this and hate somebody or, point fingers. Who are you voting for? And all. No, you can't do that. You got to go in the high frequency. It doesn't matter. We can create this. You go in with other people, you can affect an amazing future. I mean, Tesla said we can have any future that we want. We just have to learn how to go into that frequency, manipulate it, know it is done, and not go into fear because that's over here because other people are choosing it. You don't. You just don't choose it. That's it. It's that simple. You got to work on this. So I thought that was really cool, but he thought of Christ as something very different. Yes, spiritual, positive, but he knew Christ was that super high frequency. And that is love. So it didn't take away your religious belief or anything else. Christ was an ultimate prophet who came here to demonstrate the use of the energy field of the penthouse frequency. Pretty cool, huh? So now maybe you're going to think a little differently about, wait a minute, everything's just energy. I can manipulate and change it. So if I'm going into a really wonderful space, when I love somebody instead, my reality just changed. Things will come to you. I'll give you an example. There's a situation in my life that I wanted to have certain events happen. And I was very specific, without boxing myself in, about what that was going to be. I thought maybe it's time for this and this and this to happen. And so within 24 hours, the exact thing that I desired came to me. I mean, the exact thing that I desired came to me in a situation that would be very difficult to find. I didn't focus on the probabilities were like 1 in, a million. I didn't think that. I never think that, right? I know that it's possible, and I believe it. So I know if this doesn't happen, then something else will come along. So if you don't get what you want, you think, I'm not doing it. No, that's the ego wanting it the way it wants, when it wants. Just know, okay, it's going to show up. It's going to show up in a different way. What I was looking at, that's not my thing. There's something in there. Maybe something would have happened later on. I shared with you. What if I had a different condominium and it went underwater, one that I really wanted more than this one, right? There's a future that is already in play with what you're doing right now, and you can change that. So don't try to control things with your ego. Make requests. Ask, and it is given. Healing everything. We can absolutely go into the golden era with powers that you never imagined you could use. You got to believe it and know it. The best way is to demonstrate it. Start small and then realize, wait a second, what I just did affected the entire planet and beyond. Very exciting stuff. So we're going to talk more about this because I'm going to help you to use those powers. So again, if you guys come into my Breakthrough Fear list, you'll get some offers to take. I have a special manifesting masterclass. Well, it's actually a mini course. Very simple steps, and if you do them, you will see results. People are looking for some big things. Save me! Tell me what to do. I'm like, no, only you can. I can give you simple steps. These aren't complicated things. If you do them, it works. But I can't change what you think and you believe. This is Digital Explorers. Are you ready to create income online with the internet, to reach global audiences, to have a voice, to make a difference? We create them from scratch. You don't have to know a thing. We don't teach technology over there. We create. It's called the Creation Station within Digital Explorers. Within Digital Explorers, we're creating amazing things for you that you love. We choose passion. So we create your business around passion, high frequency. All right? And then we give you that purpose. What's your purpose here? People, I want to find my purpose. Let's do it. Let's get your purpose going. Yeah, and then we make a positive impact through that. So if you sit on your laurels and maybe you want to do these things, but you're in fear, like, oh, this is too difficult or it's too much of an effort, good luck. You're going to exit this planet never stepping outside of your comfort zone, staying in what you think is comfortable, and you're going to realize it's not at all. It's actually keeping you in, let's just say, that safe zone that is not going into the expanse of space. You will not benefit from the frequencies and expansion that's going to send you things you never imagine. You never imagine. It's going to be amazing, all right? You got to do it if you want to maximize your time here. And I'm counting on you because guess what? We are so much more powerful, unified in love. Oppose nothing. Separate yourself from nothing. I have the no tolerance zone. I don't participate in it anymore, but I don't condemn it. I'm making high choices as often as possible. You got to be on your game every moment because this planet's going to test you. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Namaste.